North Korean troops have played a pivotal role in Russia's recent advances against Ukrainian forces in the Kursk region. Kiev has assessed a move aimed at cutting off logistical supplies and isolating Ukrainian soldiers. DPRK units' participation in the latest Russian counteroffensive comes after Pyongyang reportedly deployed thousands more soldiers to the region to reinforce its troops after suffering casualties. Sergey Grabsky, a retired colonel of the armed forces of Ukraine, a military expert, said that North Korean troops may enter Sumy province. It is very difficult to predict the actions of the Russians, because if you remember back in September, General Budanov noted that given the level of casualties, the Russians should have stopped their advance in Donbas. But they are ignoring this, he said. He said the following regarding whether North Korean soldiers fighting in Russia's Kursk region would be able to enter the Sumy region. They can certainly enter. There is no clear marking on the border that this is Russia and this is Ukraine. They are carrying out combat missions. Moreover, the advance in the Novenkoi area looks like the execution of a combat mission with the aim of cutting off the main logistical highway. Recall, Russian forces are attempting to create an active fighting zone in Ukraine's northeastern region of Sumy across the border from Russia's Kursk region. We have recorded that in the direction of Novenkoi, the enemy is still trying to create a zone of active hostilities on the territory of Ukraine, trying to gain a foothold there. Border Guard spokesman Andriy Demchenko told Ukrainian national television. These are small assault groups, but such groups of several people are trying to enter our territory to accumulate and to later move deeper into the territory of Ukraine, including most likely to cut off logistical routes. Border guards were repelling the attacks using artillery and other means to prevent accumulation of forces and any expansion of the zone of active hostilities, Demchenko said. The Russian efforts indicate that Moscow does not want to halt its counteroffensive at the national border should it manage to recapture the rest of the shrinking Ukrainian pocket around the village of Sudza. Moscow's forces are making heavy use of fiber optic drones in Kursk, small craft that are coordinated by a thin, high-speed cable which is resistant to electronic jamming, according to a soldier who spoke to Ukraine's Suspiln public broadcaster. The situation is not developing in our favor, they added.
Russia's defense ministry announced Thursday it has taken over Sudza, the biggest town in the Kursk region that has been overrun by Ukrainian forces since the surprise cross-border offensive in August 2024. According to Associated Press, the announcement comes as Russian troops are close to driving out Ukrainian troops from their last foothold in the Kursk region. Asked about when Russian troops are expected to drive the Ukrainian forces out of the Kursk region, Peskov said that there is no doubt that the Kursk region will be liberated quite soon. Peskov also said Thursday that U.S. negotiators were en route to Russia, but he wouldn't comment on Moscow's stance. Before the talks start, and they haven't started yet, it would be wrong to talk about it in public, he said. Meanwhile, Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova confirmed that Russian and U.S. delegations might have contacts on Thursday, adding that Russia is ready to discuss the initiatives proposed during the meeting between Ukrainian and U.S. delegations in Saudi Arabia.
Никаких нет сомнений, что достаточно скоро Курская область будет освобождена. Действительно, переговорщики летят, и действительно контакты запланированы. Контакты уже были. Вчера был телефонный разговор Волца и Ушакова. Определенная информация была российской стороне предоставлена. До того, как эти переговоры начались, а они еще не начались, давайте не забывать, было бы неверным сотрясать, так сказать, небеса и говорить об этом публично.
Мы внимательно следили за состоявшейся 11 марта в Джиде встречей представителей США и Украины. Мы ознакомились с принятым по ее итогам заявлением, в котором содержатся разные идеи. На данный момент никаких официальных обращений к к нам на этот счет не поступало. Со своей стороны будем готовы обсудить изложенные там инициативы в ходе будущих контактов с американской стороной. Также могу сказать, что такие контакты возможны уже сегодня.
President Vladimir Putin purportedly visited a Russian military command center in the Kursk region in video released by the Kremlin on Wednesday. According to Associated Press, Putin, wearing military fatigues, was seen being greeted by the army's Chief of General Staff Valery Gerasimov, before entering a building. An area within Kursk remains under Ukrainian control amid Russia's ongoing special military operation. Fighting there has escalated as ceasefire talks come to a head, with Moscow intent on taking back its territory and Kiev determined to hold on to it as a bargaining chip in any negotiations.
Вооруженным силам, правоохранительным органам и специальным службам в соответствии с законами Российской Федерации являются террористами. Так их действия квалифицирует Генеральная прокуратура России, и именно по этим статьям терроризм возбуждено против них уголовное дело Следственным комитетом Российской Федерации. Вот сейчас, только что, Валерий Васильевич упомянул о пленных. Но вот к этим людям мы, безусловно, прежде всего должны относиться как к террористам в соответствии с законами Российской Федерации. Тем хочу напомнить также и о том, что иностранные наемники не подпадают под действие Женевской конвенции 1949 года об обращении с военнопленными. И, конечно, прошу передать слова благодарности всему личному составу за то, что было сделано в последнее время. Очень рассчитываю на то, что...
Kiev residents reacted on Wednesday to the US-Ukraine negotiations on how to end the three-year war with Russia. According to Associated Press, after talks in the Saudi city of Jeddah on Tuesday, President Donald Trump's administration said it would immediately lift its suspension of military aid to Ukraine and its intelligence sharing with Kyiv. That move came more than a week after imposing the measures to push Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky to enter talks to end the war with invading Russian forces. The announcement came at talks between Ukraine and the United States in Saudi Arabia. Ukraine also said it was open to a 30-day ceasefire in the war with Russia, subject to Kremlin agreement. Talking about Tuesday's negotiations in Saudi Arabia, Ukrainian soldier Volodymyr said in Kiev that the US administration tried to manipulate things and they shouldn't have done that. Another man, Andriy, who moved from Kramatorsk to Kiev for safety, said, "Resuming the military help is very good, because without the intelligence that the US has, it is very difficult for our guys and our defenders to work on the front lines." The outcome of Tuesday's nearly 8-hour talks between the Ukrainian and US officials appeared to ease, for the moment at least, the tension between Trump and Zelensky that erupted during the Oval Office meeting last month.